Hey guys, it's Sam. So today I'm going to be giving you some tips for doing an awesome job in your life drawing class. Life drawing is important because it informs all your other art. Once you get pretty good at life drawing and once you get the hang of it, you'll start noticing that everything else comes easier. You can draw from your imagination easier. You can draw from observation easier. You're better at mapping things out in your head and putting them onto paper in general. So a lot of people really revere life drawing as the thing that, the most important drawing skill that can just make you so much better at art. When I talk about life drawing, there are some misconceptions that people have. So one of those is that you can pull up a picture of a nude person online and draw that picture. However, that's not the same as life drawing. When you're life drawing, you're taking that three-dimensional information that your eyes are seeing and you're translating it to a two-dimensional surface. When you're looking at a picture to draw, you're transferring a two-dimensional image to a two-dimensional image, which is easier. It doesn't take as much practice, which is why you'll see a lot of people saying, oh, I drew this from a picture. People are like, oh, that's so amazing. Well, it's life drawing. It's not life drawing because the thing you drew wasn't alive. It was a picture. Anyways, if this is your first time signing up for figure drawing classes, you have a couple different options. Maybe your art school has a mandatory figure drawing class, or you just want to sign up yourself and you can choose between instructed and uninstructed, where you just have the freedom to do what you want to do. I personally started off with life drawing classes that were instructed. There weren't really any other options for me to do. And I'm happy that I had an instructed life drawing class because my teacher happened to be really awesome. But however, I know that people can end up getting bad teachers or teachers who don't know what they're doing or saying, and it can really mess up your experience. Maybe sit in on a class before you sign up, because I know from personal experience, one of my friends had wanted me to come try out one of their art teachers, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll come along and see what it's like. Turns out I really did not like the classes. And art classes outside of school, they can be very expensive. So I'm glad that I understood that I personally didn't like the way that teacher was teaching before I signed up for the class. So let's talk about supplies. Of course, you can just bring your sketchbooks, but these are things that I like to use. Now, when I'm traveling around, when I go to California for school and all that stuff, I bring this. This is my drawing board. As you can see, this is the side of it that I actually draw on. And this is just the back side. It's very well loved. I'm super proud of it and I use it a lot. You might want to buy one of these rubber bands, which can help hold your paper to this board when you're life drawing, or you might want to get some of these clips. I just squeeze mad clips at these cats for their bricks and chips, which help hold your paper down. These clips, I use these like crazy. They are my best friend. I'm so glad. These are a little too small. I use them sometimes, but this big size right here, I don't know how many inches this is, maybe like 2.5 inches across that way. These are great for holding your paper down because in life drawing class, it's a culture of going very fast. So when you have to do 30-second drawings of gesture drawings of different poses, you definitely don't want to get caught moving on to the next pose and you don't have enough room on your paper. You need to switch your paper. Oh no, you can't do it fast enough. It fell off the board. Oh, what am I doing? I wasted a whole 30 seconds. You don't want that. You just want to be ready and have good supplies that can help you do your best and be the most productive and get the most practice that you can in your life drawing classes. Another thing you're gonna want to have, of course this is all optional, but this is just a big folder that I got from Target for like $15. It's pretty cool. It's got a zipper on it all the way around, some pockets on the front, and it holds all my life drawing supplies really well. So I always bring this to class with me just so that I don't have to keep the big papers under my arm. And some people do, like I've got some friends who I really think their art is really amazing. And all they bring to life drawing class is like their, sometimes they just bring their smaller sketchbook to life drawing class. And that's all right too. But if you really want to get your arm moving, which is very important, you might want to have big papers. So big papers like this. There's two types of paper that you are gonna want to work with. This is called newsprint. It's very thin. It's cheap. It's so cheap. This whole thing was like $5. I get everything on sale. And this is good for gesture drawings. If you don't know what a gesture drawing is a very quick drawing. So the model strikes a pose. It might be a minute, 30 seconds, sometimes 10 seconds if your instructor is really crazy and awesome. And you have to draw that pose in the amount of time they give you. So I know some people, you're like, I know this stuff, but not everybody knows it, you know? You can't read minds, right? Like some people don't know. So another type of paper that you'll want is drawing paper. Also, it's basically just better paper. It's nicer. And when you've got longer poses, like, I don't know, I'm a fiend, I'm evil, so I consider like 10 minutes a long pose. So if I have like a 10 minute or a 25 or like, God forbid, an hour pose, then I'll just use this paper. As for drawing utensils, there are some basic things that you are gonna want. So, of course, charcoal. These are Blick charcoals. I got all of these charcoals for $16. You're gonna want two different types of charcoal. This is called Willow Charcoal. It's like the pencil of charcoals, almost. You might use it for gestures or just to get part of the pose planned out on your paper first. And then you're gonna want something called pressed charcoal. This is heavier charcoal. So the thing with pressed charcoal is when they're making charcoal, it's burnt wood and a thing called binder. So in a willow charcoal, it's less binder. This is pretty much a burnt stick, being honest with you right here. And this pressed charcoal is like burnt sticks, but with a lot of binder. So it's heavier, it's darker, it's more permanent. And for your charcoals, please don't erase so much. Erasing's not that good. But if you ever need to erase, have an eraser dedicated to charcoal, because this eraser was white at one point. It used to be white. And I've got a box dedicated to charcoal because they're messy. Look, I just barely touched them and they're so messy. So then you're gonna probably want some soft color pastel. I love these so much. I use these a lot. I take really good care of them, so they might not look so used. Here's what they look like. They got a little foam on top of them so they don't break. They're kind of messy just because I use them. They are good for putting colors on stuff. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. These cost me about $5 at Michael's. Then again, every single time I see a Michael's coupon, I get it. Every single time they give me a Michael's coupon at checkout, I get it, I keep it. Yeah, I always want to get discounts there. So then once you know that you're really going to continue with life drawing and you like it a lot, you probably want to get some Conte Crayons. These are my Conte Crayons. They are destroyed, I'm sorry. The box is even just like falling apart. It's because I bring it everywhere. They're like, they're hard to explain. They're really good though. Take my word for it. Conte Crayons are awesome and they make your life drawings look amazing. So this is just a thing of random stuff that I bring to life drawing. Inside I have big Sharpies, very fun for life drawing. Then I've got just regular pencils, this eraser that I used for my soft color pastels, this eraser, the eraser that I use for pencil and stuff like that. Then I've got this detail eraser. I know it sounds like I have a lot of stuff, but I've been life drawing for a super long time.
I've been in this game for years. It made me an animal.
So like I've just accumulated a good collection of things for life drawing. Now, last of all, this is just something fun and special that I like to use. These are Liquitex paint markers. And as you can see, this top, it's got a very big tip on it. They normally lock these up in cages because people do graffiti with them. But if you go to a specialty, okay, if you're under 18, I'm 18 now, but I got this when I was 17. How I did that was I went to kind of a more specialty art store. I went to Jerry's Artorama in Austin, Texas, and they weren't locked up, so I could just pull one out and buy it. Whereas if you go to Michael's, you can't, everything's in a cage at Michael's. If you don't have your parents with you, you're just out with your friends buying art supplies, then you pretty much can't get it. So another thing that you're gonna want when you're done with a drawing is this. Krylon matte finish. This stuff will help finish your drawing and just keep all the charcoal generally stuck to the paper. It's non-yellowing, it doesn't mess up the stuff, but I wear a mask when I spray it because I have to spray it so often. So like every week I'm spraying this and I just don't want to inhale all that poison, whatever's in them. It's basically, it's spray on glue. That's what this is. Don't breathe in. Now, say you have all your supplies and you're so ready to go to life drawing class, or you have like none of your supplies, or you've got a pencil and your sketchbook and you're like, oh, I guess I'm here. Well, there are some things that you should know. So if it's your first time going to life drawing class, especially if you're younger, maybe you're like 14 or something and you got into a life drawing class somewhere, some people, I won't make fun of you or anything, but some people are nervous to see like a naked person. Okay, you're fine. Everyone's naked under their clothes. It's not as awkward as you would think it would be. You're all there for art, you know? So there are a lot of like, don't act like the model's not a person. Like, make friends with them, make friends with your instructor, really talk to the people around you because they're the people who are gonna help you and they're just such interesting and artistic people. And if you go to a school or if you're in a place where you don't really get to see that many artists every day, life drawing class is an amazing place to make friends. Everyone is nervous to draw in front of people with a naked person in the middle of the room in this weird environment you've never been in. But once you get there and after that first pose, you are gonna be so into it and loving it. Now, some tips for actually drawing. When you're at your spot drawing, there are a lot of people who sit at easels. There are a lot of people who sit on something called a drawing horse. I know I had never seen a drawing horse until I got into my first life drawing class. And I was like, what is that thing? Like, I don't know. How do you use it? Like, it looks weird. But you'll see people doing it. If you don't know what something is, ask your instructor. If you don't know why something's there, ask your instructor or ask the person hosting the meetup, because they're going to be way more experienced than you. For a while, I went to a life drawing class with an instructor. Now I go to one that is more free form, because when I get to college, I'll have instructors again. So I figure, why not cultivate like my own style and things like that? But it's good to have an instructor for the first few times. So when you're there, you're gonna see people sitting at easels, sitting on drawing horses, and I would tell you to just don't get into that unless your instructor really like forces on you to do it. It is a good idea to sit on the floor with your paper flat on the ground in front of you. The position that you're in when you're life drawing is so important. You don't even know. I know in school they're like, oh, sit proper at your desk. That doesn't affect anything. When you're in life drawing class, your drawings will look so much better if you just heed this advice, okay? You're sitting on the ground. Your paper's right in front of you. You are gonna want to hold your drawing utensil in a specific way. Because when you're life drawing, you don't want little lines. You want everything to be like moving and flowing and going, so don't do your pencil like that. Don't white knuckle it. Don't do that, guys. Don't. Hold it like this. See, like that? When you're drawing, you can go like that. Don't do that, because your strokes will be so much smaller, and you're just, it's not a confident way to hold your pencil or your Conte or whatever you're using. So now that you're looking like a fool, sitting on the ground, holding your pencil weird, you are going to be like, what am I supposed to do? Well, you're supposed to draw the model. So, oh, how do I do that? Well, draw what you see. There are some people who believe that life drawing is like, oh, you draw the boxes and you draw the sticks on the limbs and the weird balls for the joints, and then you make it like a stick figure and then you add flesh. Okay, that's not how you life draw. You're not drawing what you see. You're drawing, because when you're doing that, you're trying to make it easier for you to draw the human body through drawing it wrong. Okay, it's not good. Just look at the model and you will be able to see the shape of something. Take, for example, me right now. My hair, it doesn't go like, it goes like this. Like that. I know I look super ridiculous doing that, but I'm serious. Really look at the shape and map it out with your eyes, right? That's called mapping. When you look for a shape in the figure and you draw exactly what you see on the paper. Now, this is a slip up that people do. They look at the model and they don't look at their hand and they try to draw without looking. You wouldn't realize you're doing this until your drawing came out like crap. But you look at the person, then you look down to your paper, then you draw some lines, draw what you saw up there, then you look back up there. And looking up and down, that's super important. Never look just at the model unless you're doing something called blind contours, which is where you purposely don't look at the paper. If you find yourself running low on time, just remember, there's something that my instructor said to me that I think is super important, and that is, it's more correct it's better to be correct than it is to be complete. So say you're halfway through the drawing. I mean, you're mostly done with the drawing. It's coming up on time and you realize, oh my God, the legs, oh, it's so bad. The legs look so wrong. So in that case, you pretty much have two options. You can smear out the legs and fix it, or you can finish shading and hopefully that will subtract away from the fact that you just messed up a whole half of the body. That's not a good idea. You're just gonna want to go back in and fix it, you know, because in life drawing class, you have so many opportunities. Every day you've got what, like 15 different poses. Way more than that actually, like 30 or 40. And you've got so much time to go over and over and over again and practice, practice, practice until you can get it right. And part of that is not trying to finish drawings every time and get them complete, but it's trying to do a drawing and have it be correct. And slowly, slowly, you're gonna find that you're finishing drawings and they're correct. They're complete and they're correct over and over and over again. And that's the point where going to life drawing class for you is gonna feel like a win and you are gonna feel like you learned something. Because life drawing class isn't like an art class where the teacher is kind of absent and you have to make 7 pictures by the end of the year. That's not life drawing. Life drawing is actively trying to improve your art, coming in every week and being present and being productive every single class. Another great thing to do in life drawing class is to look at other people's art. This is the time when you should get up and walk around and look at other people's art. That's totally socially acceptable in life drawing class. It's not like art class sometimes where when you get up to go look at other people's art, it feels invasive. This is like a sharing time, right? So when the model takes a break to go like get water or whatever, everybody's gonna get up and look around at each other's art. So don't be afraid to ask people, oh my gosh, that looks so amazing, how'd you do that? Or what charcoal were you using? Or can I borrow your eraser? Literally just try to get in on all the knowledge of the other artists in the room, because it's great if you can learn things from them, and maybe even if you have a spare moment, peek over at them drawing and watch and see how they draw, see how they hold their pencil when they look up and down. Are they doing it really fast or are they doing it every once in a while? That's really important, gaining knowledge from other people in the room. Almost every single art school you are going to apply to, art, animation, graphic design, doesn't matter what it is, they will probably ask to see your life drawings. I know, so it's very important to get those skills. I know that a lot of people are thinking, oh my God, I'm 15 and in only a little while they're gonna ask me to apply to college, but I'm still gonna be 17 when I'm applying, and all these classes say 18 up. The grand secret of all life drawing classes is that they never card you. You're there to draw and experience these things and get all these good skills so you can apply to college. And if anybody ever questions your motives on that, like, who do they think they are? You know, you need to get these skills before you have to apply, and you need to get these skills so you can have jobs and make great art. So yeah, I hope that this all ends up being useful to you, and peace out.